Hey everybody, what's going on? It is James here, and I wanted to sit down today and shoot a video talking about money, talking about investing, and talking about looking at the big picture. Because one of my passions over the last 4 or 5 years has really been diving deep into this world of finance. And it's probably because I avoided this world for so long. I had a successful business, and in that business, anytime I had spare money, my immediate mindset was I want to invest this in a new business. I never really paid much attention to the markets. I felt like markets were outside of my control and that investing in a market was basically like gambling. It wasn't until I started trading crypto in 2017 that I started to really learn about markets and learn about, investing and all that kind of stuff. And it's taken me on a really interesting journey that, I would not be exaggerating if I said it's changed my life, especially financially speaking. But I think a lot of times other people are probably a lot like I was. Unless you're raised around financially, savvy people, you're not really introduced to the world of investing. And without getting into a big long story, I was on my own at 17. My dad passed away of a massive heart attack. And so I didn't have an adult figure in my life to kind of guide me with finances or really any of the decisions that most young people have to make. I just kind of had to figure it out the hard way. So I wanted to start doing some videos that will hopefully help people. I know my demographic on this channel tend to be around my age, but some of you are a bit younger. And even if you're my age, it's still good information. It's just, we're getting a late start in life at, 40, 50 years old versus, I wish somebody would have told me this stuff at 18. So before I jump into the content, first thing I want to do is remind you to please hit the thumbs up button and subscribe to the channel. That really helps me out. It helps YouTube show, the channel to more people, and as the channel grows, it allows me to spend more time and effort building the channel, which is something I really would like to do, is just give out free information to help people out there. So let me just kind of walk through what you're looking at on the screen, and I'll tell you why you're looking at it. So last week, a young guy came by, nice guy, came by trying to sell me solar for my house. And I had thought about solar in the past, but the problem was that solar was really expensive, and so it didn't really make sense to me to change. But as he started talking about it, I realized that they made some pretty good advances. Solar had come down quite a bit in cost, and he gave me a proposal today for my solar system, and I've gotten a couple of proposals. But his proposal was right around $30,000 for my house, and then there was a federal tax rebate, and there is also a rebate from my utility company. So the net cost to me, if I pay cash, because there's a cash discount, is $21,950. And I was interested. I was doing the math in my head thinking, what? No utility bill does sound pretty nice. Plus, I think utilities are going to be going up in price as demand for electric increases. And so I'm thinking, what? I'm probably going to do this. And then I got to the bottom of their proposal, and this is where they really shot themselves in the foot. So at the bottom of their proposal, they have this little piece, and it says that, hey, if you stay with electric, we project you're going to spend $71,590 over the next 25 years on your electric bill. And so what that did was that got me thinking, wow, that's really a lot of money. $71,000. And they're saying if you switch to solar, you're only going to spend $41,000. We're going to save you $30,000 by switching to solar. I'm thinking, well, that's a good, it's a pretty good deal, saving $30,000. There's just one problem with that. If I took the exact same $21,950 and I put it in stocks, and I got the average return in the market over the last 100 years is roughly 10%. If I got the average return after 25 years, my $21,000 would be, ready? The internet's acting weird today. I think maybe Amazon servers are down or something. So we'll give it just a second. I'll speed the video up so this eventually gives us the number we're looking for. Okay, well, goodness gracious, it's been several minutes and it still isn't working. I really do think there's something going on. There it goes. Wow, I was about to do it on the calculator. So 25 years, my $21,000 would be worth $237,000. That's at 10%. Are you seeing the problem yet? So many people, they work from a savings point of view instead of an investing point of view. And one of the things that I was raised on in the 80s was, save 10% of everything you make. Save 10% of everything you make. And so I did do that throughout my life. I tried to save 10 to 20% of everything I made. but I didn't invest 10 and 20% of everything I made. And had I invested that, I'd probably be worth who knows how much, because when crypto rolled around, I would have had millions of dollars to start with, instead of, in my case, when I started investing in crypto in 2017, I only put $13,000 in. That's what I started with. I started with a couple hundred, and then a couple hundred, and then after about a month, I had about 13 grand in it. But, imagine that I had millions of dollars available, it would have been a different story. But saving doesn't actually do a lot for you, because when you save money, cash is inflationary. And of course, now everybody is learning the lesson that cash loses value. So you have to invest your money to let it grow and let it at least try to offset inflation. So yeah, telling me I'm going to save $70,000 in the long run, or $40,000, whatever it was, it actually backfired on them, because it made me start thinking about, gosh, why don't I just take this cash and stick it in the market? Because right now what I'm doing with it is it's sitting out of the market, because I pulled it out when I thought, it was a bubble, and I'm waiting for the market to bottom. So chances are I probably can get 10% over the next 25 years, maybe even more, knowing what I know about trading and knowing what I know about accumulation zones and things like that. But even if I got a worse return, let's say that I only got 7%, this probably isn't going to work very fast, so I'll do it on a calculator. So the way this works is you simply take, your 1.1, because that's your return, 10%, and then you raise it to the power of however many times you want to do that. So 25 years, boom, right? 10.83 times 21,915. You can see that's where the $237,000 comes from. Okay. It popped up before I got done explaining it. So again, even at 7% return, I'd be making $118,000 return on my money, which is still way better than taking that cash and buying a solar panel system for my house. Now, I'm not bashing solar. I'm probably still going to go solar, but I'm probably going to finance it instead, so that I can make payments on the solar system and then put the cash in the market, right? Because their finance rate is 1.9% interest, and obviously I can make way more than that in the market. So this is something that I did not understand early on, right? I did not understand that, just because you have the money to pay cash for something, it's not always a good idea. In fact, I was raised on the premise that if you can't pay cash for it, you don't need it. And so a lot of times, like even with vehicles, I would pay cash for my vehicles, right? Take 15, 20 grand, whatever it was, and I would just write a check for the vehicle. I think the last vehicle I bought that I paid cash for, I'm thinking it's been a while now. Maybe about 8 or 9 years ago, I bought a used SUV for my brother who owns a car dealership, and I think I paid like 9 grand for it. So yeah, I just stroked a check for it, right? But think about and 9 grand's not a lot of money, obviously, but think about that $9,000, it was probably 10 years ago. It was 2011 or 2012 when I bought that, right? Well, yeah, I saved a little bit of interest on that 9,000, but if I'd have put 9,000 in the market 10 years ago, look what the market did the last decade. That 9,000 would probably be worth 50 now. So I saved a couple thousand interest, but cost myself $40,000 or $50,000 in returns. So this is something that, I want to start talking about the bigger picture more and more, and not just technical analysis, because I just think that most people, especially if you are my age, right? And I think that's the reason so many of us are the way we are, is because we were raised in this time where it was popular to say, if you can't pay cash, you don't need it. If you can't pay cash, you can't afford it. And make sure you're saving 10% and 20% of every check, and so on and so forth. When reality is, that's really bad advice. You should be investing 10 to 20% of every check. In my opinion, you should be investing 40 to 50% if you can afford to do so. So obviously you have to do what's right for your financial situation. You can take very small amounts of money and you can turn them into absolutely generational wealth if you understand how compounding returns work. And that's what this is. It's an example of compounding returns. All right. So now, with all that being said, I don't want to get too far off topic. I want to kind of keep these videos centralized, but I do want to mention I do have 29 spots left. So there's 100 spots open up. I have 29 spots left at the time of shooting this video for my Racing Rabbit indicator, which is a TradingView indicator. And again, basically what it does is it spits out buy signals and sell signals on any chart you put it on, whether it's a stock chart, whether it's a crypto chart, whether it's Forex, whether it's precious metals. It doesn't matter. It just flat out does what it's supposed to do. So I'll leave a link down in the description. I don't want to start talking about it in the video and doing demos in this video, but I will leave a link down in the description if you want to check that out. You can click that link and it'll take you to a page that whatever the current pricing is, if those 29 spots are still available when you click it, that'll be one price. If you happen to click it, maybe it's 6 months from now and those spots are gone, whatever the price is on that page will be the current pricing for that indicator. All right, hopefully you all enjoyed this video. Hopefully, if nothing else, it's helped to open your eyes to the power of compounding returns. Also helped to open your eyes to the fact that, don't always look at what's right in front of you. Because one thing that I can tell you guys is once upon a time I sold cars for a living and I did finance for a living. I was the guy that sat in the finance office at the car dealership and did the paperwork and sold the warranties and gap insurance and all that. And one trick they use in sales is they always talk about payments, never price. So when you go to buy a car, for example, they don't talk about the fact the car is $40,000. They talk about how much they can get your payment down to. So you're not thinking about the big scary number. Well, these solar systems, same way. They talk about, hey, we can get your pricing down to about what you're paying for utilities. They don't like to talk about the $30,000 price tag or the $20,000 price tag. And everything is like that, right, in sales. Like you go into sales industries, they love to drill the minutia, right? The small stuff so that they kind of like take your eye off the big stuff. It's the same way a magician does his magic. It's just a game of distraction. So this is James with Crypto Common Sense. I didn't cover any charts in this video, so I'm not going to be doing any disclaimers. I'm simply going to say, make sure you're trading safe. Make sure you are being smart with your money and letting your money work for you. And if you haven't yet joined my indicator, again, there will be a link down in the description. Take care, everybody. I'll talk to you soon.